Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of the Germantown USA scenario. So I basically hit the 2-hour mark and the video recording just stopped and I didn't notice. I don't think I really lost that much because the last thing that happened on the part 1 was that we built a station in South Bend, which was, you know, only about 1 or 2 months in-game time ago. So yeah, I don't think it had been. I don't think the recording had stopped for that long. But that's all that happened is I hit the 2-hour mark and carried on, and I was talking to myself without actually recording, and I didn't notice. Anyway, so we built the station in South Bend. We can do South Bend to Chicago. Do I want the... No, I don't want the dining car. Right, that should be all those... That's all those cities connected up, so... Right, so we built Fort Wayne to Madison. That's going to need maintenance and service there. And then, let's see, Toledo, Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne is over here, so yeah, probably an idea to just build maintenance and service over there. Fort Wayne to Madison, yeah, that's fine. Kalamazoo to Detroit. It's got a water tower there. That should be fine. And then Chicago to South Bend. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Save the game. So. It's probably 9. Oh, hang on. It connects over to Davenport, which, yeah, that's a new expansion. At some point, I'm basically just going to have to save up my money and try to buy them out. Obviously, I can always issue stock. Ooh. But yeah, they're doing dangerously well. Steel mills built for the first time near Kalamazoo. Ooh. And we're in an economic boom. Right, let's make this a large station then. If we can get iron going. Is there a supply of iron nearby? Minneapolis, Rochester, London and Toledo. That's not good. Alternatively, I build a steel mill actually in Minneapolis itself. That could be profitable. There's nowhere that really demands steel for anything right now. Oh, I was going to buy a tool and die, wasn't I? Yeah. Looks like that's something I've built. Right, so I've built it. I'm guessing that yeah, that hotel is really stupid. How did that, yeah, this textile mill could actually do with upgrading, to be honest. Engineers develop steel railway bridges, cheaper than stone bridges. Right, that'll be useful if I decide to build more bridges. Because they can be double tracks, but they are cheaper than stone. Union wins, war is over. Munitions and weapons prices down 35%, which is, I think, basically just back to normal. Although, if it increases by 35%, and then it decreases by 35%, that means that it's actually slightly higher than normal. Well, sorry, it's slightly lower than normal. Because it's like, if it started at 100 and it increased by 10%, then it's 110, but if it then decreases by another 10%, it's actually at 99. So, yeah, I think basically what it's saying is that prices are back to normal and I don't really need to worry. But it's kind of a shame because I was making a fortune from weapons and ammo falling. Right, I'm going to upgrade that. Did I buy that tool and die? I can't really remember. Yes, I did. Oh, actually, tool and die does want steel. So if we get steel from somewhere. Oh, train crash. Right, new locomotive, the Mogul. This is actually a fan locomotive. It's more expensive to buy, and it's more expensive to maintain, but it is actually... I think it's faster than the American when actually pulling a load of cars. It's got better stats, although you only get 80% passenger revenue, which is worse than the Volvo. Certainly worse than the American. Oh, and the Thatcher Perkins. Ah! Now, this is a really good locomotive. It's expensive, but it's basically it looks basically the same as the American, but it's very fast, very good on hills, although, you know, we don't really have hills. Good stats. Yeah, when you compare... Yeah, the American can do about 30 miles an hour on flat land. Yeah, so the Thatcher Perkins is really good. We probably want Thatcher Perkins for a load of locomotives now. So it sounds like a consolidation, but it looks like a American. Right, where's that tool and die? Should start making a profit soon. Ah, the advantages of mods. Civil War is over. You can get well-trained workers that will reduce the cost of track laying by 20%. These folks don't come cheap, and track maintenance will cost 10% more. It's debatable how much extra track I want to be building. Because I kind of feel like I've connected to pretty much everywhere I want to be connecting to, but I could also maybe double up some track. The track maintenance costing 10% more. I don't know how much I'm paying in track maintenance. Let's do it. How much am I actually paying in track maintenance? So, track maintenance last year was $700. Oh, it's only like an extra sort of $70,000. And cheaper track is always going to be welcome. Right, that tool and die, I just want to make sure it is actually making profit. It is starting to make a profit now. Right, how... Ooh, 12 million, that's not good. Do I actually need dividend in my own company? Probably not, to be honest, because the whole point of the dividend was so I could get money to buy stock in their company, but I've got 50% of shares in their company anyway, so... I could be really sneaky, actually. I could probably sell off a load of shares in their company, which would tank their share price, and then buy them out. Issue some stock in my own company first. That is incredibly sneaky. The problem is that it might end up in a margin call, so I'm going to save the game first. Right. Let's issue stock in my own company. Right. Now, I need 12 million at present. But, if I sell off a load of shares, whilst simultaneously keeping at least a 50% share in their company. Now there are 194,000 shares, so I still need 97,000. Ooh, I can only sell off a couple more. Right, so now I have exactly 50% share in their company, and I still don't actually have enough to do so. Right. Huh. Okay. It'd be really useful if I could take out a bond right about now. Wait, what the hell just happened there? Oh, for God's sake, people just bought a load of shares in their company. Yeah, Daniel Drew just bought a load of shares in his own company. And they did a load of stock buyback. So my sneaky plan wouldn't have worked anyway. Alright. Yeah, it would have worked if, at that very moment, I could have raised enough money. What? I'm just wondering actually, what happens if I like sell all of my shares? I could short sell them, which would drive their share price even lower. No, it actually doesn't work like that. Right, hang on. Because there's no way this is going to work. There's just not enough money that I'm offering. Yeah. I can't... Yeah, you see, it just fails miserably because I have no shares in their company. And I have minus 50,000 shares, so... I think what we've basically established is that I need more money to be able to buy them out. Even with my sneaky plan of selling all of my shares, I still need like an extra 1 million. Ish. But it would work. They've actually just done a massive stock buyback, yeah. So I actually can't buy any more shares in their company anyway. Okay. Well, not to worry. What is their book value, actually? Just out of interest. Is there a way to find out? I don't think there is, actually, because... Oh, hang on. Chicago... balance sheets? Right, so their book value is like 10 million. Whereas my book value is 23, almost 24 million. So... I don't know how that would affect my book value were I to merge with them. I think, presumably, I would just get all of their book value. Which then I need another 3 million industry profit and like another 6 million in book value. Maybe gold medal is actually doable after all. In the meantime, I could actually just keep expanding now that I've got the cheaper track. Memphis, Jackson, and like a south line. Anything in Mount Vernon? Not really. God damn, there's so much cargo just floating around. I could actually buy that textile mill. It would cost all my money, yeah, but I'm just gonna buy that. Yeah. Oh right, yeah, so the tool and die. Yeah, this tool and die in Minneapolis is making big money. I kinda wanna buy that as well. No, I don't need dividend, do I? What am I talking about? I don't need dividend anymore. The whole point of the dividend was to, like I say, keep my purchasing power high enough, and then be able to get enough shares in their company, so... yeah, I can issue stock. And buy that. Yeah, this is where the big industries come in now. Oh wow, this weapons factory was making a fortune earlier, and now it's making a big loss. This brewery is making big money all of a sudden. Yeah, these big industries are going to make me a lot of money. Although, how on earth am I going to get 16 million? I don't really know. I think basically now I just need to save up all my money, and because there's only, well, there's like 13 years left. I can do it just saving up my money and issuing stock when I can, and then just buy them out that way. I don't know if I want economic boom or economic depression at this point. Because economic boom means I make more money, but then so do they. Depression would drive their stock price lower. And I do have money in the bank, so... I want to upgrade this tool and die. Yes. I probably want to upgrade that as well. Yeah. Man, the fact that they control the Dubuque, Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago line is really frickin' annoying. I mean, obviously there's nothing to stop me from connecting, like, Rockford to Dubuque myself. I'd still have to use a tiny bit of AI track. Yeah. Not the greatest gradient. Can I not get an overpass there? I really would quite like an overpass. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I'm noticing that I'm basically noticed that there's a lot of money to be made from like Minneapolis to Chicago and like Rockford and Madison, and you know, I didn't have a way to get from Dubuque to Chicago or like Dubuque to Rockford with my own track, so I figure why not just simply build my own track to connect them up. Now, annoyingly, Dubuque can't really be upgraded to a large station. Obviously, it's not my station anyway, but now we can do Dubuque to Chicago. And also, that is a quite badly Well, it's not badly placed, it just needs upgrading. So yeah, Minneapolis to Madison is obviously going to be quite profitable. Which I can actually do with my own track now. And also Des Moines. To Madison. Yeah, big profits, hauling all this ammunition. The ammunition is still massively profitable even after the Civil War, which is crazy, really. I suppose I can make this into a steel bridge. There we go. And this bridge, maybe? Can't bulldoze track with a train on or near it. Ah, okay. So, last year, and this, in fact, yeah, we're making loads of money in industry profit. These big industries, you know, like tool and die and weapons factory and textile mills and stuff like that. Speaking of, do we need to upgrade any of our factories or industries? No, I think all the, well, actually, we could upgrade that. Doesn't need it right now, though. It's on the limit between not needing an upgrade and needing an upgrade. God damn, they're profitable. Right, well, we've hit the 40 million company book value and the 10 million industry profit, so as soon as I buy out that AI company, we've got the gold medal. But whether or not that's actually going to happen or not, I don't know. It might do, because I can just issue stock as much as I like. Yeah, and I do have 50% share in their company. Really wish I could take out more bonds. To be fair though, if I make 6 million a year in profit, I might actually be able to buy them out in a few years. Like maybe 2 years or so, but it depends if that increases or not. It's kind of a shame that the scenario just ends as soon as I buy them out, because I would quite like to keep expanding. You know, I was going to build down to Memphis and Jackson, etc. Right, that's gone down actually, so. I suppose there's nothing to stop me from actually just connecting to like Memphis, Jackson, you know, build a big line down here, and then buy them out like right on the deadline, you know, like buy them out in 1879. But the problem is they might end up being so profitable that I just can't afford to buy them out. So I guess I'm going to save the game here. I could create some kind of save that's like, you know, Germantown 2 and just, if it all goes to shit, then reload that save. Why are they only somewhat pleased with us? Oh, because we didn't make as much money as we did last year, even though we still made an insane amount of money. Well, I can definitely get the gold here and now by simply just buying them out, and then that's it. I've got gold. Still need a bit more money though. I mean, I could sell some of my shares, which would drive their stock price down, and then I could buy them out. I kind of want to just keep expanding. It's a shame, really. The scenario just has to end, but I don't know. At the same time, it's like if I built like round here. I'm of the opinion I'd probably have enough money, 18 million, to connect most of the cities on the map. But then I might not be able to get enough money to buy them out. Which would then mean that I have a silver medal. So the question is do I just buy them out now and get the gold? Or do I expand and try and connect as many of these cities on the map as possible, and then run the risk of not actually getting the gold medal and just get the silver? I don't know, to be quite honest. How many of these cities are really worth connecting to? There's a lot of stuff flying around in like Fort Dodge moving up the river, which I've got no idea what it is. If it's corn? Milk? I don't know. God, there's so much cargo now, it's insane. Even like Mount Pleasant, which is otherwise... Wow, what the fuck is... Blinking heck. Yeah. I'm going to create a second save. I'm going to save this game as Germantown 1. And this will be like Germantown 2. Okay. And if it all goes to shit, then I basically reload save 1. And if it doesn't, then hey ho, I've managed to expand to most of these cities. So, is there anything in Collingwood? No. I'm only going to connect to cities that I think is actually worth connecting to. It also actually increases the company book value a lot, so... Just get track and trains and everything. Hang on. Is there a way to do this without a massive incline? I suppose it's probably more entertaining if I actually like try and connect every city up. Right, so Akron to Cleveland. Because I've got 18 million in the bank, I reckon that might be enough to actually connect basically everywhere, or at least everywhere sort of worth connecting to. Yeah, I mean, I might not connect to like every single tiny little city on the map, but I can connect to most places. And then there'll be a mad dash in the 1870s to buy out the AI. And also, obviously, not that they're going to, but it stops the AI from expanding if I expand there first. Right. So in that regard, I probably want to expand over to cities that the AI might connect to. And then if they decide to use my track, I get more money. But it could also benefit them if they're making profit from using my track and stations. Anyway, yeah, obviously I'm not going to have enough money to connect to literally everywhere, but we can connect, you know, a fair amount of cities up. What's in Mason City? Seems like it's quite a bit of a Mason City, actually. That doesn't look right. There we go. I think the thing is that I've got so much money from like industries and everything that this will probably help with like passengers and just sort of moving things around. What's in Marshall? Don't know. What's in Rhinelander? Or Stevens Point? Quincy. Okay, let's start on the southern line. So now that the Civil War is over, it doesn't matter that I'm building in former Confederate territory because this is all the USA anyway, so it's not like I'm playing both sides anymore because technically this is all the USA. Although, I don't know if these states have necessarily joined the Union again, but whatever. We can connect over to Little Rock as well. Yeah, so even just connecting these cities to themselves, it's massively profitable. What is going on in this map? There's so many just random industries that are making huge profits. Like, I'm looking at this tiny little town of Mountain View. I'm thinking, what is this giant stack of cargo? And there's a massive lumber mill that's making a huge profit. And you wouldn't think to connect there, but you know, there's a giant lumber mill, and I'm thinking, well, I might as well connect. Although connecting there with a sensible gradient is actually not that easy. reason it's called Mountain View. Okay, I have to rethink this. Yeah, that'll do. Can I get rid of the medium station? Yeah, pretty much. And Mountain View has a bit of lumber we can ship over to Memphis. Unfortunately, there is a lumber mill in Memphis itself, but the lumber is more expensive in Memphis than it is in Mountain View, so it is profitable to ship between the two. Right. Can't issue stock right now. So... right. Huntington has a lot of stuff. In the form of a giant frickin' textile mill that's very, very profitable. It seems like every city on the map has one industry that is actually just doing really well. So connecting up all these little cities is actually pretty worthwhile because of industry. Whereas Go West, for example, was quite interesting because I was connecting up cities purely for the challenge of connecting every city on the map. Even when, you know, a lot of those cities were not really worthwhile. They had maybe some passengers, but not much in the way of industry. Although that scenario is designed so that there are so many passengers, because it's like the 1840s, 1850s, and there's in-game events to increase the flow of passengers. Whereas this one doesn't have in-game events necessarily to increase the number of passengers, but there's just a lot of passengers anyway. Charleston is interesting because it's kind of on a giant load of hills. A bit like Mountain View was. Right, that's okay. And also, I'm not averse to using dodgy tactics to buy out the AI, like, for example, selling a load of shares and buying them out for artificially inflated, or artificially deflated, I suppose, prices. Like how I was going to originally, ages ago, but the plan didn't work because I didn't have quite enough money in the company. I was about 1 million too short. But if I have enough money to do it that way, I am going to do it that way. Any means necessary. Ooh, that's a very nasty bend. Why is that 8% gradient? How odd. Yeah, that'll do. It's not like I'm going to get many trains going this way anyway, hopefully. Just the one. Yeah, just a simple train from Charleston to Huntington. Did I set up a train leaving Huntington itself? No, I did not. So, what is in Huntington? A whole load of clothes. and a load of wool that we can get from Cincinnati or Indianapolis. Yeah, so let's do Cincinnati to Huntington. Or Huntington, Cincinnati. Anywhere else? Oh yeah, I need to actually finish up connecting this up to St. Louis. So Cape Girardeau, or Girardeau, or however you pronounce it, over to St. Louis. I was going to say I'm running a bit low on money, but I've still got 8 million in the bank, so. And we are in economic boom as well. This is where that 20% cheaper track is really coming useful. Obviously, I'm going to have to pay more in track maintenance now than I would have been earlier, but, you know, should still be fine. And then connect up this with, well actually let's just get a train going from Cape Girardeau to St. Louis, and then finish connecting this up with Memphis. That's not right. There we go. Right. So. Right, what's in St. Louis? Madison and Fort Wayne. Where's Madison? There's Madison. Madison and Fort Wayne to St. Louis. Okay. And then we want St. Louis to Memphis. And then maybe also St. Louis to Jackson. Yes. And then save this as Germantown number 2. Right, so yeah, the book value is now 54 million. Industry profit is now almost 18 million. We're going to need 18 million, or just a bit over, to buy these guys out. Is there anywhere else that I really, really want to connect to? Not really. I mean, maybe, yeah, but not urgently. Well, I guess we might as well connect up to there. To Paducah, or how you pronounce it. Yeah, there's a lot of town and city names on this map that I have absolutely no idea how you pronounce. Paducah. Yeah, let's do Paducah to St. Louis, or St. Louis. And yeah, this isn't actually increasing that much, so I reckon we'll be fine to buy them out. They keep doing, like, issuing a stock, which creates shares in their company, so... Or actually, he's just maybe he's selling shares in his own company, I don't know. So I'm literally just buying them. Which actually does drive up their stock price, but, oh well. I could actually buy them out now. Nah. I still want to kind of play this out right to the very end. And I still want to part of me is saying, like, go on, try and connect to every city on the map. Part of me is saying just end it now. There's still so many cities left to connect, it's actually insane. But I still have another 10 years, so... Alright, let's keep building, let's keep connecting. So I'm going to save this as number 2. And then I'm going to actually create a third save. Call it, yeah, Germantown USA number 3. And then from... Okay, so let's just keep building. Yeah, there's still so many cities on the map left unconnected. I don't have to run trains between these cities, although I may as well if it's going to be profitable. How much are we actually making in industry? So last year we made about 2.9 million. Okay, so the trains are still the main source of income, which is obviously good. I'd be scared if they weren't. Because that would mean that the industry has basically just become the dominant factor. I suppose it could if I actually ended up buying more industry, but, you know, that's not really what I want, so. God, all these cities are just kind of pretty pointless. Alright, so where else is there to connect? So there's Holland, which is actually a pretty decent city, so... Got a lot of passengers around here actually. Let's go Holland to Detroit. Getting loads of passengers, bloody hell. Right, Lafayette to Indianapolis, or Indianapolis to Lafayette, is that possible with a sensible gradient? Yep. And then Danville to Terre Haute. I don't know who Dan is or why he's got a town named after him, but anyway. Let's do Danville to Indianapolis. Right, where's next? Des Moines to Fort Dodge. Yeah, there are so many cities on this map. It's crazy. Right, Mason City to Marshall. So Marshall has a bit of grain and a few passengers, etc. Passengers we could ship over to Minneapolis. So let's do that. Wow. I can barely even select the station because it's sort of covered up by them. Okay. where's next? Right, straight out of Madison, up to Rhinelander and Stevens Point. Annoyingly, I'm going to have to use a bit of AI traps to do this. Or am I? No, I'm not actually. Nice. Okay, so there's Stevens Point. I don't know who Stephen is, but he's got a point. So Rhinelander to Madison and Stevens Point, probably to Madison as well, yeah. Just keep things simple. And also by connecting up all of these places, it means that the AI obviously can't connect to them, so it stops their expansion, as I keep saying. Alright, where is next? So this is now Germantown 3. Yep. Right, so where's next? Still a hell of a lot of places to connect to in the south. Bloody hell. I'm looking at the map and I'm seeing the amount of places and it's just ridiculous. I definitely don't have enough money to connect to all of these places right now. But that's not to say that I can't do it in the future. Right, Mount Vernon. Yeah, let's just do Mount Vernon to St. Louis. And then also connect over to Evansville. Wow, there's so much ammunition in St. Louis. St. Louis to Minneapolis or St. Louis to Jackson. Minneapolis to St. Louis is a bit far. Unless we go connect St. Louis up with like Quincy and then Davenport, Cedar Rapids that way. Yeah, I don't know. Right. We can do Cincinnati to Lexington and Louisville, and then Bowling Green. Where the hell's there it is. I couldn't find Lexington for a second. The town's disappeared. And then there's Louisville. So Louisville to Cincinnati. and then Lexington to Cincinnati. Right, we've already connected up to Charleston. Unionville to Des Moines. Unionville doesn't really have anything. Just a load of farms that are sort of scattered and not really centralised with the town. Oh well. We can still get a train going from Unionville to Des Moines. It should be alright. And then there's Kansas City over here. Oh, actually, Kansas City to Unionville, we could ship alcohol and meat for reasonable profit. Nobody wants to go to Kansas City, which I find quite odd. But Des Moines to Kansas City would be more profitable overall, I think. Right. Save the game again. Germantown 3. So... I think we've connected basically every major city. But then again, there's still so many cities on this map. I mean, connecting to Charlotte's not going to be easy. Because it's like right surrounded by mountains. And Knoxville and Blacksburg, so... Right, let's connect Jackson. No, let's do Paducah actually. With whoa, Paducah to Bowling Green and Nashville. Then we can do Nashville to... I don't know. Nashville to St. Louis would probably be quite good, logically. And then Bowling Green to Paducah, interestingly, or Cape Girardeau, but let's do Bowling Green to Paducah, because that's closer. Right, and then there's also Fayetteville to Jackson. Not down this ain't gonna be easy. It's a whole lot of mountains. Unless I can just build round there, that might be easier. Yes, that works. Right, what's in Fayetteville? Not a lot, it seems. Just a lot of cheap coal. We can ship over to Little Rock. Also, some people want to go to Little Rock. So Fayetteville to Little Rock it is. And save the game. My book value is now apparently, bloody hell, 70.5 million, and my industry profit is 21.3 million. Right. The AI basically now has nowhere to expand, unless they connect over to Quincy, or they just connect their track to my track. One thing I've noticed is that even when the AI has oodles of cash, they don't really expand. You know, with 6 million in cash, they just don't really expand that much. The AI has to be doing really well to actually expand. But anyway, Jefferson City to St. Louis, and then I think I'm probably going to... And I can also actually connect maybe Kansas City to St. Louis. And then probably unpause the game and just save up my cash again, because I am going to still need... I'm still going to need, like, you know, 20 million to actually buy these guys out, which is going to take a few years, and I still have like 10 years left, but, you know, if I don't buy them out, then I only get a silver medal. And I would look like a big fool. Oops. Also, probably not a good idea to buy them out like December 1879, just in case the game doesn't recognise that I've bought them all out. So, maybe buy them out just a bit before the deadline. Right, let's do Jefferson City to St. Louis. And then finally, Jefferson City to Kansas City. Assuming I've actually got enough money, because this is not going to be cheap. So just out of interest, there are 287 loads of passengers and 494 undeliverable. So there's still like twice as many passengers that are, well, 1.5 times as many passengers that are undeliverable. Same with mail. Troops, there's not really many troops around. But yeah, so this is what I don't really understand, is that even on like the Go West, I was the only company, I had every city on the map connected, and there's still undeliverable passengers and mail. Now obviously here, I've still got loads of cities to connect to, but I don't know, it's something I don't really understand about this game, it's really weird. But anyway, let's do Kansas City to Jefferson City. I don't know how much it's going to be. Actually, I was going to do St. Louis too. Yeah, I was going to do St. Louis to Kansas City, although that might not be that profitable. Yeah, still like 19 million. Okay, so now I need economic prosperity. So they're actually going to be slightly cheaper now to buy out. Although not for long. Really want to connect to every city on the map now, but there's just so many goddamn cities. So there's Roller, Fort Smith, Joplin, that's 3 over there. There's 3 over here, Knoxville, Blacksburg and Charlotte. And then there's Quincy. And I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's it, actually. Obviously, the network is a bit odd. You know, you can't get like direct trains necessarily, so maybe that's what it means by the undeliverable passengers. I nearly called them undesirable then. Undesirable passengers. That's why they're undeliverable, because no one wants to sit with them. But yeah, let's just quickly connect up to Quincy. With... oh, that's not nice. I know bridge gradients tend to be a bit nasty, but that was particularly nasty. Right, so that is Quincy connected up. There's actually quite a lot in Quincy, which we can ship over to Chicago, maybe? Or actually, Springfield or Peoria would be quite... yeah. Let's do Springfield to Quincy. I did not build maintenance and service. Right, Roller. Whoa. So Roller to St. Louis. Save the game. Right. So Fort Smith, Joplin, and then these 3 cities, which are going to be quite difficult to actually connect to at all, to be quite honest. Don't know how I'm going to connect to these, to be honest, because there's river and there's mountain. I'm struggling to see if there's any other cities that I haven't connected to. At all. Obviously my network is a bit odd. And I could build, you know, extra connections like Danville to Chicago, Lafayette to Chicago, over here, like Chicago South Bend. I could connect Evansville to Louisville, and that way I would have a direct line from like St. Louis to Lexington, for example. That could be worthwhile. Let's do that. Ooh. Nasty gradients around here. Yeah, probably build this bridge first. Yeah, there you go. Right. So... don't know what we can do from Louisville to Evansville, but we can do Louisville to St. Louis. Right, save the game again. And also there's St. Louis to Lexington. That's actually not that much, but oh well. Maybe St. Louis to Lexington the other way would be better. Right. Can't issue stock right now. Right, let's connect to Fort Smith if possible. Little Rock to Fort Smith isn't really viable because there's giant mountains in the way, so I'm probably going to have to go... yeah, Fort Smith to Mountain View. Quite a bumpy ride, but nothing majorly problematic. And also the Thatcher Perkins is reasonable on slopes. Thatcher Perkins is now just like my go-to locomotive, it's pretty damn good. Fort Smith to Little Rock, although that is a hell of a long way. Well, I say it's a long way. And then over to Joplin, which is actually surprisingly flat. Amazingly, the people who want to go to Joplin are from Kansas City, which actually I suppose that makes sense because it is quite nearby. So is it worth connecting these two up, maybe? Yeah, why not? I wonder how many miles of track I actually have right now. So my company book value at the moment is 80.4 million, and I have 6,400 miles of track. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Considering I've only been playing for 21 years. Alright. So let's save the game. get a train going from Joplin to Kansas City. Not something I would have thought I'd have been doing. I would have thought I'd been doing like Joplin to Fort Smith or Joplin to Little Rock or something, but hey ho. So, Little Rock is Arkansas, Memphis is Tennessee, Kansas City is obviously, well, it's actually not obviously, it's Missouri and Kansas. Presumably Jefferson City is Missouri, St. Louis is Missouri, so I don't know, is Joplin in Arkansas or I don't know. Fort Smith I think is Arkansas, so this must all be like Arkansas then. Right. I think it's just these 3 cities left to connect, and then that's it. We've connected every city on the map. Excuse me. I probably want a bit of money going in. Yeah, normal economic growth now. Which is going to make them cheaper, actually. But how do I want to connect Fayetteville? Well, maybe not even Fayetteville. How do I want to connect to Knoxville, Blacksburg, and Charlotte? Yeah. I sort of see a path from Charlotte. Nah, actually, maybe up that slope and then I'm probably gonna have to tunnel through. What's I can build like? Blacksburg might be a way round from Huntington to Blacksburg. Maybe from Knoxville to Blacksburg, but then how do I get to Knoxville? There might be a way around here. Right, let's try Nashville to Knoxville. Damn, that's some nasty gradient there. I mean, the gradient doesn't matter too much, because I'm probably not going to get much, or get many trains going there anyway, but... Well, let's build a station in Knoxville first. Yeah, okay, that gradient is actually fine. So now all I have to do is just connect up this bit of track with the other bit of track. Which is seemingly easier said than done. Wow, that's not nice. Okay, I thought this was going to be the easy bit. I was wrong. God damn. Huh. Wow, okay. I guess it doesn't matter, because, like I say, you know, I'm not really going to be, oh fuck's sake, running a great deal of many trains between these cities. along this route. In normal gameplay, there'd be no reason to connect these cities, really, because I'm only doing it for the sake of this artificial challenge that I've created for myself. That's not good. I wonder if I can flatten that with a maintenance facility. Sort of. Yeah. Right, that works. Still a bit 6% gradient, but we've connected Nashville with Knoxville. And as I expected, there's not actually that much. There's a whole lot of coal just lying around. I think in real life there's quite a lot of coal mines around here, so... Well, there used to be, like... Well, West Virginia, but that's probably off the map. Is there actually anything really I can do over here? I mean, like... Actually, I can... I don't think there's actually going to be anything worth shipping over here. Yeah. It's connected, isn't it? So... Damn, that's actually really decreasing... Whoa! Oh, my share price has just tanked because obviously I issued a load of stock. Fortunately, I'm at no risk of margin call. But yeah, because I issued a load of... Because I keep issuing stock, my share price is just, like, tanked. It'll probably stabilise, but for now it's really cheap. Okay, getting out of Knoxville and getting over to Blacksburg ain't gonna be easy. How do I want to do this, actually? I mean, I could get away with, like, a small station in Blacksburg, so... And also, to be fair, the gradient doesn't matter too much, as I said earlier, because I'm probably only going to have, like, one train. You know, it's not exactly a high traffic area. But, god damn, this ain't going to be easy. That's some nasty-ass gradient there. Ooh, this is nasty. That's some nasty gradients there. Yeah, I can fix some of it with, like, maintenance facilities, but meh. It'll be fine. Nobody wants to go to Blacksburg. Can't say I'm surprised, because it is a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. We can ship people from Blacksburg over to Paducah. There's also basically nothing else. So we can ship coal from Nashville to Blacksburg. Or Paducah to Blacksburg, actually. So let's do Paducah to Blacksburg. And ship cheap coal over there for reasonable profit. So the only city left to connect to is Charlotte, and I have no idea how I want to connect to there. I could just straight up tunnel through with very expensive and terrible gradient. Or I could try and build some kind of winding long mountain pass Might be able to build like something around here from Blacksburg. That could work. If I can't find anything that works like around here. Yeah, because I can't imagine that this is ever going to work. Okay, let's try a new plan. How on earth do you get to... This could work, and then build some tunnel or something. I'm going to need a tunnel if I want to let this work. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Straight up tunnel through. This is... I mean, it sort of works. It's going to be freaking expensive and pointless. I feel like there should be a better way to get to Charlotte, because otherwise it's like, why is it there? You know, there's a giant warehouse there, and I feel like there's probably actually quite a lot of stuff that you can deliver, but there's like no way to connect to it. I mean, this track is actually really good, and then I can connect this up with this track, but then this tunnel is okay. This tunnel is pretty... If we say that this tunnel is okay, then what the hell's going on around here? There's got to be a way that's better suited. Surely. Surely it's possible to connect to... Surely it's possible to connect to Charlotte without the need for a giant frickin' tunnel. I don't see a way that's any better than this, to be honest. And then how do I actually sort of finish it off? You know, how do I actually get down into the freaking city? This is insane! I don't... hang on. Is there a way, like... is there any way that this will work? I mean, if you accept a 6% gradient, then yes, but... it just seems impenetrable. There's a giant frickin' mountain slope, and I don't see any way that you can get through it. I mean, I've already basically tunnelled through. Am I meant to tunnel through this? Over to Charlotte or something? I don't know. So... how does this look? If I do something like this? That is so incredibly stupid. And also this track is horrible. Oh well, I might just have to go with it, because I don't see any other way that you can really connect to Charlotte. It just seems like an impenetrable wall. And, you know, it's not like I'm going to have many trains running here anyway, so... Right, well, we've made it to every single city on the map. Somehow. For better or for worse. So... I could make a fortune hauling ammunition from Minneapolis. But obviously that's like from one end of the map to the other. Really, your best bet would be... Like, oh, hang on, I haven't actually finished the connection. Well, shoot. Alright, well this shouldn't be too difficult. It says. There we go. With exactly 1 million left over, although I still need to build some more maintenance and service. Right. That was incredibly stupid. Jesus. I mean, the gradient is not too bad. Why the hell is there one house on a hill up here? So yeah, that is actually every city on the map connected up. There has to be a way to get to Charlotte without a giant frickin' tunnel. Surely. But anyway, yeah, let's just do Charlotte to Nashville. That's probably the simplest. Ho! Making a fortune hauling milk. Where's this milk coming from? Oh, there's a dairy farm there. I'm just going to buy this dairy farm. Why not? Damn. Alright. Now, there is literally nothing left to do but to buy out the AI company for, well, 13 million. Yeah, they're highly annoyed with us for some reason. I have no idea, actually, because our net profit were... Oh, it's probably because the share price tanked. Yeah, that's not good. Oh well. Right, so basically I've now got like 7 or 8 years to basically just sit back and let the money pile in until I eventually, hopefully, am able to buy these guys out. Because I have actually connected to every city on the map, including those in Canada. Well, admittedly that's only 2 cities, but still. Yeah. I might actually end up with more than 100 million in company book value, and probably end up with more than 30 million industry profit, which is nice. Train crash. I reckon one more year will do it. Okay, let's save the game. Germantown USA, let's play hard 3. And buy them out. There you go. 270,000 votes in my favour and 35,000 votes against. New York Central Railroad takes over Chicago and Milwaukee. And we might as well buy a load of shares in our own company to drive up the stock price. There you go. Save the game once again. So, probably maybe got to wait a little bit before it triggers the gold. Like maybe the end of the year, I don't know. I don't know. Like, why is it not giving me the gold? Good thing I've done this for plenty of years to spare. I'm hoping that at year end, maybe, it'll just give me the gold. There's still more undeliverable passengers than there are deliverables. And same with mail as well, it's quite odd. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that I've won this scenario. I'm going to save over my original save file, as opposed to saving it over, like, save number 3. There you go! Yeah, it must check for gold medal at the start of the year for some reason, as opposed to just giving it you instantly. Bloody hell. I mean, that's a very fitting gold medal description. A golden victory. No task undone, nor challenge unmet. Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, you know, what else can you do in that scenario? I've connected to every city on the map. And I got 100 million company book value, a ridiculous personal net worth. I mean, normally I'm rubbish at personal net worth and playing the stock market. I was thinking at one point, you know, I'm going to have to go with a margin call, and my purchasing power was only about 600,000. I think it was when the economic depression hit, and then fortunately, it turned into a recession. But yeah, even with a ridiculous number of cities, and I didn't even... Do you know, at the start of this scenario, I was thinking, there's no way I can connect every city, but, you know, I made a fortune from that civil war just hauling ammunition and weapons here, there, and everywhere. And then I was convinced that I couldn't actually buy out the other company when I saw that it would cost me about 20 million to buy them out. But having more than 50% shares in their company made it a lot easier because it meant that I could pay the cheapest price. Bloody hell. That is ridiculous. That couldn't have gone any better. That was insane. I love that. That's a really fun scenario as well, because it is just literally building track and trains and industry. You know, there's nothing complicated about it, but you've also got the added element of you must buy out every other AI. So the final stats, after 24 years, company book value of 109 million, industry profit 31 million, every city is connected to every city on the map. Actually, that's not technically true. But every city is connected on the map. Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. But, yeah, last year we made 3.2 million in industry profit. There's probably a load of industries that I own that I could probably upgrade, to be honest. I've not actually really looked. Actually, no. I actually don't own that many industries. I own a lot of like hotels and restaurants and taverns and farms and stuff. Although actually a lot of them. Oh no, they are profitable. It's just that the select few industries that I have are making a fortune. And also, actually, steel didn't really play into this, because steel mills can make a fortune, but because tool and die and weapons factories and ammunition factories can just make their respective cargo out of pure iron, you don't need steel. You can just use iron. And there's so much iron from all the random iron mines. Yeah. I think my favourite period in this game is the 1850 to 1900, because you get some cool steam locomotives and there's loads of industries to keep you going without the sort of complexities of, you know, 20th century when you start getting electric and diesel and even more industries, and industries become quite complicated. I mean, I feel like I've said enough, to be honest. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video of Railroad Tycoon. I plan to continue the campaign, obviously. The next scenario is Central Pacific, and I'm 99% sure you cannot connect to every city on the map, purely because you are limited by the amount of track you can have. There might be ways to increase the amount of track that you get given, but even so, with the nature of the map being very mountainous, and probably there's quite a lot of hard to access cities, and limited track, it's going to be basically impossible to connect every city on Central Pacific. If it's possible, I'm sure someone will have done it, but to my knowledge that is not possible. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here now because I'm rambling on, and yeah. But I've absolutely enjoyed this scenario so much. This is such a fun scenario. The fact that I've managed to connect every city is crazy, and yeah. One thing I will actually just look at, yeah, 7,641 miles of track, and bearing in mind, we have barely any double track. Absolutely ridiculous. Take care, folks. Have a nice day. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.